see how Tyler Malter figures out here for Demuslim and JYP. Game number 3, guys. The winner of this will end up claiming the win for their seeds in the divisions. Keep in mind, JYP is 1-1 and Demuslim is 1-3.
Ooh.
So it's really important for JYP to get this win, but more important for Demuslim.
Absolutely. So the map will be Tal'Darim. Here we go with player intros. As you can see, you've got spawning in the northeast location. Evil Genius's JYP will be facing off against none other than Evil Genius's Demuslim, spawning as the Red Terran. So Froden, afraid to make a prediction, and I don't blame you, because we saw both games being so very close.
How about we can make a prediction after we see each other's openings?
How about I'm going to say Demuslim's going to win?
All right, well, I'll just have to go ahead and say JYP is going to win.
I love it. Okay,
that way one of us could be right.
Finally, one of us will be correct and one of us will be wrong. Okay, so here's the thing, right? They're cross position. It's a big map. Now, on occasion, we see Terran get a little bit greedy, and a good Protoss will punish for it, and sometimes can turn that punishment right into a win. Players like MC specialize in this.
Huck does it a lot, especially on Tal'Darim. He sees a really greedy play. He sometimes just 4 gates on Tal'Darim.
Nothing wrong with it. However, what have we seen out of Demuslim in both games at the beginning? Likes to stay safe. I don't see him giving an opening to JYP here. I really don't. So
I really hope not either, because he's been going for a really, really fast expand with gasless barracks expand, but at the same time been bunkering up very safely, bringing his SCVs out in front to prepare, just to make sure that he can be safe against any kind of pressure. So we'll see what JYP has in store for game number 3. Specifically, it was his map choice, as he did lose game number 2. We'll see what JYP can follow up, though, because I feel like he just, again, was not able to really answer too much, and this time it was more of Demuslim making plays, shutting down expansions, killing off probes, especially that huge 4 medevac drop in the main. That was a big play.
Huge, absolutely. Actually, it all really started off that, and then you could see him drop the 4th while simultaneously attacking into the natural, and that's what you need to do. That multitasking, so sweet. That's a sweet spot. And you know what? You pointed out earlier that, again, Demuslim was going to go for that bio play, and you know, when you play that drop style where you're dragging the Protoss all around through the ringer, if you will, it really produces great results, and they eventually got just about caught up to even in terms of upgrades.
Yeah, it's true. Upgrades didn't really play too big of a factor in that game compared to other games that we've seen. We'll have to see how actually it plays out in this game as well.
Look at this. Okay, this is really important. As you can see, probe hanging out here, so JYP is in fact going to see the command center getting constructed. No real surprise there, but here's the question, Froden. How does he respond to it? And that's what we're just going to have to see. Does he want to get aggressive on this, or does he want to sit back and macro up himself?
Yeah,
Time will tell.
We'll have to find out, because Demuslim right now expanding, and he's also making a bunch of very typical play out of him, but more importantly, JYP, he's corner boosting out his Stalker, so he really wants to remove the Scout from his base. Now, the way you corner boost the Stalker is just to establish your map control really early on. And by getting that Stalker early, you're able to really deny a lot of information. So we'll see. JYP obviously saving up for a Nexus of some sort, so he'll probably try to place it down. But more importantly, now he has a very small window where he has a map control with that Stalker Zeal. So he's going to try to see if he can put on some very light pressure here.
And you know what? This is what I was talking about. This will kind of also give really good intel into the follow-up, right? You got some great scouting off with your probe initially, but what you can do is right now is kind of get a sense of composition and exactly where Demuslim wants to go. Fully loaded bunker, no surprise there. 1 Zealot, 1 Stalker, not going to be enough, obviously, to break Demuslim at this point. They would have to be superhero units at that point.
Oh, wow.
Look at this, going to sneak right past into the main.
Oh, that's not too big of a deal in terms of losing units, but just because the information gains.
That's the key thing. That is the key. In fact, going to see everything right now that it's up to, but also shouldn't be a huge surprise. I mean, again, adding barracks. This is really Demuslim style.
And 4 barracks.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, both players, same team. They know each other. They know each other's style. So not a huge surprise here. But look at this, being very annoying with that Stalker.
Yeah, you know, and having the Stalker get all the information was pretty key. Now, JYP knows exactly what he needs to do. He needs to get up his own gateway count. You want to at least get some security in terms of units, because if you tech up Terran will just have way more than you. And when we talk about getting units, JYP is making 5 more gateways right now, and he still has room to make more, but right now it looking like a 6 gate.
Well, you know what? Expand into gateway pressure works very, very well against most Terrans. Again, we constantly mention how safe that Demuslim likes to play. So I want to see, I'm curious, JYP may choose here to actually bide a little bit more time until he gets more of a money composition up before deciding to go ahead and re-engage. Now these 2 sentries out scouting around, quite curious, wants to make sure there's no SCVs. Scan going down. We've seen this from Demuslim before. He needs his information. He wants to know what's going on. So
he sees only 3 sentries, which didn't tell him much. In fact, I don't think the scan picked up any of the gateways right next to the base. So, well, at this point, JYP has the information advantage, which does give JYP a pretty good confidence boost in terms of moving out into the middle of the map. And Demuslim looks like he's going to motion to take a 3rd base here, but of course, JYP sees that with his
Are we
probe.
going to see a pylon here? Because I don't know if he saw the probe. Does he want to put down?
I think at this point, well, he might eventually drop it down somewhere near, but right now he's really focused on finding out the 3rd.
Well,
and he's dropping it right next to the command center, which is really bold. But I think he wants to bait some of the Marines out of there. But eventually he's going to also force field some of those units out. Keep in mind, JYP has 6 gates. He can turn it into full aggression mode, but the Marines are stepping forward, trying to see if they can pick off some of the sentries, and JYP picking off a lot of those Marines. Demuslim not engaging by the bunkers, but we do see that a majority of the Zealots did die, but resupplied immediately by those 6 gates. A lot of sentry energy was used there, though.
That was straight gangster. Just going ahead and throwing down that pylon right by that command center. That was bold, to say the least. Love the play out of JYP, man. Very, very good. And I got to tell you, you know what? I am turning into a fan of just use that energy on those sentries, man. Why not? Popping Guardian Shields, extra force fields going down, just wants to make sure they might not be the cleanest, but he's getting the job done once again. So JYP looking very, very good here. Although he'll have a really hard time with this force trying to break 3 bunkers.
If you can get good force fields and make sure to prevent the units from repairing / units from hiding behind the force fields or bunkers, JYP can bust. This is still a very extremely intimidating force, but I love the fact that the Muslims prepared. But here we go, Guardian Shields behind the bunkers, preventing a lot of the units from moving out in the forward. We do see that Stalkers are focusing down the bunker before they can really be prepared. JYP
is looking really good here.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to try to keep committing to this, though. 2nd bunker falls, a 3rd one. SCV's frantically trying to repair it, but it looks like JYP does not have any more force fields, at least for the moment. Looks like we do see Demuslim still holding on valiantly. Supply still does favor Demuslim, or yeah, this actually favors JYP, as a lot of his SCVs are repairing. And keep in mind, though, that Protoss is very easy just to lose everything as long as you don't have the efficient amount of units, don't have the good force field. So he has to be really careful here, Tumble, because if he overextends too much, it's over for JYP.
Absolutely, and you know the key thing there was that energy out of those sentries, and he has to essentially just wait, which gives Demuslim time to simply bunker up again and get ready to repair. So, you know, it's going to once again come out of control. And engagement, here we go, segmenting off more, but Marines here outside of the bunker as a buffer. That's the big difference, adding to the DPS of the Army, and wow, reinforcing off this 2 base. This is a scary moment for both players, to be honest.
Well, actually, I think it's really risky for Demuslim to put his units in the front, because that's what JYP wants. He wants to force field the units, so that way they can't hide behind the bunkers and add it as a huge concave, but rather separate them. Because if you look at the bunker formation, Demuslim kind of has 1 bunker in the back, and if he can kind of force field and try to take it out layer by layer, JYP will actually be in a good position here. But this force is still extremely intimidating. We do see that the SCVs are still losing significant mining time here as well. So in the end, despite the fact that he has those extra SCVs, they're not actually mining here. Looks like he's trying to go one more time. It looks like a massive stim here. Keep in mind, there's not many medevacs, so a stim from Demuslim does hurt. Looks like JYP baited enough units out here in the front, and Demuslim is forced to commit. There are a lot of sentries here, and the Zealots warping. It's going to take out a huge line on the front of Demuslim's units, and this is so back and forth, but JYP does back off for, again, another moment of breather here.
Wow. Excellent defensive play out of Demuslim there. Excellent offensive play out of JYP. Really a good old-fashioned Mexican standoff there, if you will. I mean, neither player able to really gain any real traction in terms of getting into the supply, or getting into, rather, the SCV line and doing damage. He did a lot of indirect damage by delaying mining.
Well, how many SCVs actually died? If we can
let's bring
go
up
ahead and check up that stats. 18 workers have been killed, which is pretty big.
But if we look at the unit counting station, also 35 SCVs to 50 probes. So that just, that even with mules, I think combined, is still leaves Demuslim a bit hurt in the economy. His economy's been a bit gimped.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to get at the point that he's getting the units in the front, separating SCVs so that they're not really bunkering, and you're able to really have the units come forward. That's what JYP wanted, and now he can ride this wave of momentum and really take an advantage. He's getting charge, he's getting +1/+1 with his double forges and High Templar, so his transition is actually good. But Demuslim treated that rush very, very good up until the fact that he sent his units forward, got a little bit impatient, stemmed his units, and the reason why he had to commit was because he took way too much damage on the stem to not attack at that point.
And I got to be honest here, it's one of those things where it is so very tough as a Terran player to be that patient.
Yeah.
Right. You have to exercise a ton of discipline. Stim has finished one medevac out's going to make you feel a little bit better as well. All those things combined, Demuslim wanted him out of his face. He was not comfortable with all the aggression coming out of JYP. Obviously, he knew he had to stop the bleeding and stabilize. So great job.
Yeah, JYP for now just going to play the defensive game. Charge will finish though by the time Demuslim does get up to the next battle here. Looks like you see JYP, he wants to protect the third. Guardian Shield goes up, indicating he wants to do it. It looks like he force fields a huge chunk of the army, but his charge lot does manage to kick in here. Does he have Storm? No, he doesn't. It's only about 1/3 done, but looks like we do see that he managed to feed back a lot of the medevacs instead and reduce the ability for those Terran units to heal. But Tumba, JYP is just baiting more units. Demuslim is running out of ability to stem here, as a lot of his units will have to back off, but he did force a third cancel, which is a good win for Terran there.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is how Demuslim does it against JYP. He breaks him down systematically. Deny a nexus here, win an engagement there, and essentially he picks him apart. The question is, does Demuslim have enough gas in the tank to do so? I think he does. He's fine in terms of floating minerals. 113 supply to 134 to 114 of 148. Let's take a look at upgrades, though. +1 weapon for Terran. Let's look at our, it's +1 weapon and armor, plus a double forge chrono going down for our Protoss JYP.
Yeah, so this is the kind of point in time where Demuslim realizes he needs ghosts really, really, really bad, because he saw a charge, saw a High Templar, and he said, okay, I need a way to really combat this. And he's getting his own-based reactor, but I don't know if he has any actual ghosts out into the middle of the field, so he's going to have to concede the map control right now to Protoss.
3 ghosts in production now. Typically with the Muslim, he waits till that Mobius is 3/4 done before he starts making ghosts. And you can see now 4 queued up in the production tab. They will help out immensely, especially against, as you said, High Templar, of course. And but the question is now, is JYP going to push this issue to a point where he keeps Demuslim uncomfortable? Because I feel like that's what he has to do. He cannot let Demuslim seize the initiative again and get comfortable to where he can start doing drop play and start tearing him apart.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because right now Demuslim, he's more focused upon survival in the next couple of minutes because, at this point, JYP controls the map, so that also means that he can expand, and Demuslim really can't do much about it unless he went to go drop it.
Well, hold that thought. Here we go. Looks like both armies posturing, waits for the sentries. Good unit spread here for Demuslim as he's going to try to...
Sentries are all jumbled up there. Did a lot of energy get taken off those sentries? It looks like a huge amount of them did get hit, as looks like JYP will be forced to back off, and that's what I was talking about. Those EMPs are so critical and valuable to the Terran army, just making sure that they do not push forward, and JYP is backing off.
I'll tell you what, one thing Demuslim has done great in this game, and that is buy time.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive in Tal'Dam Altar. I heard the exchange rate's pretty terrible.
It's right. Time is very expensive, my friend. Time is money. So as you can see right now, Demuslim just about complete finally on that third. We saw him try to build this much, much earlier, of course, and JYP wasn't having it.
Oh, yeah, so we do see that JYP, at least, again, he still has the core thing that he would like right now, which is map control. Is he can move his army freely across the map, at least for the moment. Has to kind of be cautious because now JYP has to notice that the Muslim is moving towards the western side of the map, starting to go a little bit forward, and keep in mind that his ghosts are now in the field, and he doesn't know the timing on Cloak, so he doesn't know if he's overstepping his bounds, because as soon as Cloak finishes, those ghosts will be absolutely savage if it lands
Warp
one EMP.
Prism coming in as well, Frozen. So yeah, absolutely right. Cloak will definitely play a huge factor as well. And you know, Demuslim, reading his Twitter lately, has been vocal about this matchup. But hold that thought, here we go. Charge Lot's coming in, Guardian Shield popped, and Demuslim thinks it best to be at home. Turns to engage now, though. Lots of medevacs overhead.
Oh! EMPs on the sentries, though, preventing any kind of force fields whatsoever. He did manage to get one storm off, but JYP is on the retreat. Demuslim managed to hit a huge crux of the army of Protoss. Now, more high temperatures are being built. Keep in mind that War Prism is still in play, but Demuslim is in a pretty decent position, but he's walking through so many storms. Zealous do force to lift on the third, and these high temperatures with energy are now coming into play there. GG!
Out of Demuslim. Wow. So, okay. You know, I really thought that Demuslim had it. I thought he had it in him, man. I really did there, but
well, I mean, he landed on the sentries, but that's why, because JYP made high temperatures originally in case any drops would come, so he would feed back and storm, so he kept them in reserve. And a good Protoss will always start doing that now. You see MC, whenever he does that, parting, they always keep reserve high temp art around their expansions just in case they need it for drops or any kind of play from Terran. You saw him, bring him in, he says, okay, I lost entry in the I lost energy in my sentries, doesn't matter, I'll fall back to my high Templar, and Demuslim just got overconfident because he lost way too many units there to the storms.
As Nursky says, my brain was for JYP, but my heart was for Demuslim. So, of course, JYP taking the series there, and you know, it was hard fought too. It was a very good series, but I'm a little bit. I'm wondering now, just reading the Twitter line recently here from Demuslim, I know he's a little frustrated in the matchup, and I'm wondering if it's not wearing on him a little bit mentally. We saw such things from Idra as well early in the season last season, where he was very vocal about the matchup in ZVP, and I'm just wondering if that isn't creeping into Demuslim's mind just a little bit.
I mean, Ben is one of the most positive people you'll probably meet, so I mean, right now, Demuslim's had a pretty up and down tournament. He's had some pretty high ups and some pretty low lows, so we'll see whether or not he can bounce back. He does fall, I believe, 1-4 in his group. He does have to play one more person, I believe, or actually, no, I think actually he's done with his group, so I will have to figure out the exact standings, because right now we don't have the live statistics up, but for now, JYP does win a very important match in his pool play, and we'll catch up more. Guys, at 6:15, I believe, we should be having a next series up and getting started, so that's going to be in a couple of minutes. We'll need some time to set that up. It's going to be between Sake from Alternate Attack against TSL Heart. We'll be back after more. I am Frodan.
And I'm Tumba.
And we'll get you guys later here at the MLG Winter Championships here in Columbus, Ohio.